kept going into it. It was I guess I don't know if there's a stigma or something to it. I don't know what it was, but there was something about it before that I was like, I don't know if I want to do trad. That's kind of like weird stuff. I want to do compound. That's cool. But so I did it, and there was just something very pure about it, and I loved it. And so anyhow, long story short, whatever. So we can get into any of these points that you want. Start with that Bear Grizzly, super cool bow. I've got it right here beside me. Got all my bows here with me. Started shooting these strikers. I've got a striker longbow and a striker recurve, 45 and 50 pounds each on those. Just amazing bows. They're light as a feather. And whenever I got those, they were big investments. I mean, it's a $700, handmade bow, and just amazing craftsmanship and everything. Absolutely love it. When I started shooting those, it was like taking the training wheels off the bike. Now the Bear Grizzly that I had, it's still a fantastic bow, so I'm not cutting that short. But stepping up to the kind of the next rung of that was amazing. Most recently, I've got into the ILF system, particularly with the Hoyt Satori. You and I have talked a little bit about those, but that's just a totally different machine in itself. Just so cool. I've got 17 and 19-inch risers on those, and with short and medium limbs, and all those combinations are just, oh gosh, it's crazy.
This is so funny. Okay, so again, I'm going back to when I first met you, and you're on Instagram, and I thought you're a really cool dude, and you're like, you work out all the time, and you have the world's greatest job. If you want to be a hunter, think about joining the priesthood. I'm not even gonna lie. I mean, if you want to be a hunter, because you get a chance to get out and meet some cool people and have a little bit of fun hunting. And so yeah, and you were shooting compound mostly, and I said, Padre, come on, man. Let's get you in that. Let's get you in the groove. And now I think you have an addiction. Now you're gonna have a problem. And I don't want to be blamed for it. I'm serious. I don't want to be blamed for that.
Yeah. I put something up on my story. I was joking with you that you were one of two people to blame for this new addiction of mine, this trap. You're definitely one. The other one is the father of the shop owner where I do all of my bow work at and get all my archery stuff from, Neshoba Archery in Arkansas. Mr. Jamie Wolf is the father, and he was just, every time I would go in, he'd say, "Let me know, son, when you're wanting to shoot a real bow." And he's an older guy, and just, I mean, salt of the earth, a good guy. And finally, I said, Mr. Wolf, I'll give it a shot. And he just razzes me every time I go in. Now that I'm a real man shooting a real bow.
There's a lot of women that shoot real bows too. There's a lot of good, and they kick my ass every single story. But they beat me badly. And hey, Santo, nice to see you on. Santo just jumped into sponsor of the channel. Actually, he's a really good, cool dude too, and a great shooter. If you want to know how to shoot, you got to follow him. Padre, he's an amazing shooter. Actually, Lonnie's a good shooter. Ken's a good shooter. Everyone that's on right now is a pretty good shooter. And who's Hope Carlson just came in? I'm not sure who that was, but hey, Hope, how are you? So we're just talking to Father Stephen, Catholic priest out of Arkansas, and we are just talking trad archery and about how he got involved in that. And I think that's pretty cool. So you are currently shooting a Satori though, right? Or is it just all over the place right now?
Yeah. So my go-to bow right now is probably the Satori, and I'm going between a 19-inch riser with medium limbs and a 17-inch riser with short limbs. And just the math on those, that's two totally different bows, both 45 pounds, but the short stacks, and it's probably shooting 25 feet a second faster than the other. I kind of go to those whenever I just kind of want to go in the backyard and just kind of like just relax and chill out, and not be so focused and competitive. I go with those strikers, the striker longbow in particular, which is just such a fun bow to shoot. It's super light as a feather. The Satoris are pretty heavy, and but those strikers are light. So, but the Satori is kind of my go-to, and it fits. I mean, I'm sure everyone watching this knows, but it fits in a pack.
Yeah.
In a pack, and it's amazing.
Yeah. Hey, this Santos just Good Catholic kid here too. Pray for me, Father. I'm going to Argentina with Fawn. So Fawn Gerard so this is Team USA. He's on Team USA, and maybe he can send you his bow or something like that. You can do a blessing or something. You know how they bless the boots? You know how the Argentinian priests bless the soccer shoes? Hey, Santos, that's cool, man. I'm really excited for you, man. I'm hoping that you do really well, and wish Fawn the best. But yeah. We'll say a prayer for you. We'll be okay. You'll be fine. You just do what you got to do, and shoot your shot. But I'm amazed that you're so addicted to it now. And honestly, how tall are you?
5'8".
5'8". So you should be okay, right? Your draw length is what, 28, around 28?
I got it. I think my, 20, well, I shoot 29 and a half.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't know if you know, if I did an American Ninja Warrior, and it's not like a lot of gymnastics stuff. And one of my buddies there, when I was doing the American Ninja Warrior show, he was talking to me about that ape index. And I was like, what the heck? The ape index. And he said, it's your height to your wingspan ratio. So if it's 1-to-1 height to wingspan, then that's like square, or it's positive or negative, either way. But my arms are a little bit longer than I am tall, which is absolutely perfect for archery because I'm a small guy. But which gives me good leverage. But then my long arms a little bit longer, I can get another inch out of the draw cycle, which helps a lot, as you know.
Yeah, that does. I mean, but so what happens eventually happens though is you get into these positions where you have to buy your bow so it won't stack, and so you're already running into that. So you're already running into that back wall where you keep pulling. It's a lot, and you got to hold back 45 pounds. Feels like 50 pounds at some time. So that's, I mean, you before you didn't even know what the word stack meant when I talked to you last time.
Well, I actually, and this may be my novice understanding of it, but for me, maybe it's just the caveman brain in me or something. But I'm thinking stacking is good because that's more power and everything. But I guess I need to find that particular arc where it's still in the sweet spot and easy to shoot. But the medium riser with medium limbs is probably which is why that Satori, one of the Satoris I have, is I absolutely love that combination. The short on short stacks, it shoots fast, man, really fast. But the medium on medium is great.
Yeah, so there's a point where you're going at the very beginning of your journey, usually your traditional archery journey, you're like, I want a fast arrow and it's really cool and it zips out of the bow because I'm just coming from compound. I need that speed and I don't want to have to aim too much. I mean, it's just keep it nice and flat trajectory. But I know Josh Miller just joined here. He's a good friend of mine too, and he's a master at the longbow. And they go slow, but when you see a guy like this shoot a longbow too, Padre, you should try a longbow. Just pick one up or try and find one or get someone to borrow one. You don't have one, do you?
I do.
You do?
Strikers is a longbow.
Oh, it is a longbow. Oh, that's cool. And that's the one you said you were going to, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
It's such a beautiful bow. I mean, the craftsmanship of it is beautiful, but it's also easy to shoot, man. I go 3 under and my striker longbow 3 under is probably one of the most accurate bows that I've got. So I'm predominantly a hunter more than target archery. Of course, target is part of preparing for the hunt, but there's this doubt in my mind that there's not going to be enough power, to take down an animal, a deer or an elk or something. And so I'm used to 70 pounds with a heavy arrow. And so, pushing 300, 290. And so whenever I go to these and it's 180 feet per second or 190, I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to, if I'm going to take a shot on an animal, I want it to be a quick, good, ethical shot.
Yeah. I'll give you a little bit of, so there's ways to keep your poundage down and still be pretty fast. And grow with your bow. So I shoot Uka limbs, and they are fast. So even when I'm around 40 pounds with those Uka limbs, I'm over 200 feet per second with some of my arrows.
Wow.
So it's not just the poundage. So we don't just look at the poundage. typically on longbows and that where it's a single piece of wood, you got to look at, you usually have to be 45, almost 50 pounds too. I mean, elk, I wouldn't go hunt an elk with anything like around 40 pounds, but I've taken deer whitetail with 40 pounds, about 43 pounds on my fingers. And I know lots of people have done that. 45 is sort of, Arkansas may have a law that you have to be at 45 pounds or something. I'm not sure what the local laws are, but
I think 35. It's really low, to be honest with
you. Is it?
Yeah.
There's a reason for that though, because whitetail they're so easy to kill. It's like, if you you get good you get a good, you get a good broadhead and yeah, if you're around 40, 45 pounds, you should be good to go.
I'm shooting a 150 grain. I think it's the
Magnus.
Yeah, I think it's a Stinger. I think it's what
Stingers?
it's called. Yeah.
Yeah, Magnus Stingers.
Stingers. The real long, narrow one. I don't remember what it's called. Maybe it's a Stinger.
Yeah. Yeah, they're Stingers, Magnus Stingers. They're really that's actually what I shoot, because they call those throwaway broadheads, right? Because you usually shoot them once and then they're dull and you don't shoot them again, and they're low cost, but they're great. I've killed a lot of animals I've killed a lot of deer and even boar with that, with those Magnuses. So, and especially when you're out of a trad bow, they're really good. Do you hard aim?
I don't know what that means, so you got to teach me, Coach.
Okay, so when you pull back, are you like closing an eye and then looking at your arrow tip and then putting your arrow tip on the thing? No,
I think
really.
I'm a hybrid instinct hard aimer. About a year and a half ago, I started all my archery shooting, particularly with compound, with both eyes open, which is kind of weird at first, but it really clarified my sight, and I had to teach myself how to do it, but I could see so much more. My shooting got a lot better. I do the same thing with trad. I guess it's almost instinctual. Is kind of, I guess maybe I'm more instinctual than hard aiming.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of people do that. It's and then there's a lot of people that argue. I know you've probably been on the forums, you've probably seen all the videos and stuff like that. When we say instinctive, sometimes people are truly instinctive, and some people they're actually aiming with their arm, like they're pointing their arm at the target. So they are aiming in a way. But I think as long as whatever you feel comfortable with, and a lot of us shoot with two eyes open, even if we're aiming. So we'll keep both eyes open, but what we'll do is so there's different schools of thought on this too. So you can either let the target get blurry or you can let the tip of your arrow get blurry, but you see it in your peripheral, and then you come to strong anchor and then you release. I go back and forth on keeping both eyes open and closing one. I don't know. Santo, Josh, Lisa, what do you guys do? I don't know. Put that in the Ken. What do you do? Melanie, let us know in the comments.
I guess come to think of it, maybe it's not a super hard focus on the tip, but there's like a subconscious thing going on. Like kind of like with compound, with the trad stuff, I'm trying to, first of all, tighten up a group, and then like just let that field of vision move that group to where I want it to hit on the target.
Well, we lost it. Yeah. And then you just go, okay, well, I know that my arm came up to here and I shot right, so I'm just moving it over, but let my body figure it out, right?
Yeah. And I'm still getting used to all like the technique stuff of draw length, anchor point, also the release. That's something I'm still so new to. I'm just kind of self-teaching. So I'm guilty of it. It would be like punching the trigger, but just kind of flicking the fingers open instead of letting my back tighten up or pull it through. I'm still, learning all that stuff.
Yeah. So if you get to your anchor point here and you go like that, that's called plucking. And this is called creeping. So like instead of going back, you go forward and let go, and you're creeping. And all those things are sort of bad because it takes consistency out of the shot, right? And it's even more important in trad archery that you be very, very consistent in every time you come back to the same anchor 100% of the time. It has to be identical. It can't be, okay, one day I'm putting my finger on this tooth. The next day I'm putting it just in the side of my mouth. The next day it's under my chin. You can't do that.
Mm,
You
mm,
just got to go, this is what I'm doing. And I'm going to stick to this for at least a good, I would say 6 months. Let it get ingrained into your system. And then once you have it and you don't like it after 6 months, then you go, okay, well, maybe I'll make a change. But the key to it is kind of sort of this, when you're starting, Father, you should probably start as close to the target as you can. Start going back 5 yards until you feel comfortable.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I agree. Santos is like saying, okay, so we have a single string boot camp in Ohio, and I'll give it a plug right now because every year we have it. The top traditional archers in the world come, and it's cheap. It's like $100 for the weekend, and it's amazing. I don't know, it's $120. Something it's ridiculously low, but it happens in when does it? Santo, is that when is it? When does it start? Once I'll put it in the show notes and I'll let you know. Yeah. So for your job, it's funny talking to you. For your job, can you have a weekend off?
The weekends are a little bit tougher to plan. I joke around with people as a Catholic priest, as a preacher, a minister, a pastor, whatever you want to call it. I joke around that the only day I work is Sundays. It's really the perfect calling for somebody that wants to hunt, because the ideal hunt times are usually when people do not want to have appointments. So
Right.
nobody wants to meet with their pastor at 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. or 8
Yeah.
a.m. or at dinner time, which
Yeah.
is prime hunting time. And so
Yeah. So they're coming in. So they're coming in.
let's hunt. Let's meet in the middle of the day or at dark, and then I'll go hunt in the mornings and evenings. Um, but yeah, so getting coverage on the weekends it takes a little bit of planning ahead, but it is possible. I'm working on actually already now starting to plan my fall hunts out, and that requires, especially the ones out west, are requiring finding someone to help me here at the church.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you do that? All right, so you're Little Rock. Is that what you're, okay. So how many Catholic churches are sort of in that area?
Uh,
How many in your parish?
And well, I'm currently at one church. I have an
Yeah.
associate. We have about 9,000 people in the church, so it's the largest in the city of Little Rock,
Yeah.
which is kind of a big jump up from the 700 people I had before
Yeah.
the last time we talked.
Yeah.
In the Little Rock area, there's about 15 Catholic churches.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot. So yeah, you just get a deacon. Can't you just tell someone, hey, you're a deacon this week? Isn't it like a badge you just give some one of the guys and just go, hey, you're a deacon you're taking over today. You're
Oh,
taking over.
that'd make my life so much easier.
They're like it's when you have like a deputize someone in a posse.
Yeah,
Just,
it's actually a big process. It's 8 years. I mean, so we're essentially the same thing that doctors go through. I mean,
yeah.
if you want to, like, we're kind of like doctors of souls. So we
Yeah.
get graduate degrees in philosophy and theology. So it's a long process. It's 8 years of full time, 20 to 25 hours of classes a semester. So it's a full
Wow.
load. And actually, that's a perfect transition. You said you went to Italy. I want to hear all
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, I want to, but you were just talking about how to become a priest. I'm kind of interested. No, I'm not interested. I'm married.
Yeah.
That ship sailed, but I'm kind of interested how you guys do that. Like,
Yeah.
so like at what age did you go, hey, I'm called. I've been called.
Yeah, I've always been, kind of my family. We always grew up in the church. I was always, I always went to church. There was never a period of my life when I had this God crisis. After high school, I went to the military. I was in the military for a few years. And it was while I was in the military, you could say that I heard the calling. And that was my first time out in the real world on my own. I kept going to church, and just this random idea of becoming a priest kept coming to my mind. And so I said, okay, well, I'll check it out. And this was in 2007, 2006. So it was like right in the middle of the Iraq War. Uh,
Hmm.
I did logistics. I was really good at what I did. And I went kind of like the last little test was, all right, God, if you're calling me to be a priest, then you're gonna have to help me get out of this commitment, this enlistment at this crazy time. But all right, this is your test, God. So I want to see if you can do it. And I submitted the paperwork, and like a week later, it was all approved and everything. It was just crazy. So 2008 is whenever I went to seminary and studied philosophy for 4 years, and then theology for 4 years. I was in Southern Louisiana, and that's where I studied philosophy. So we kind of began by uh, learning about how humans think and how humans live, and then in theology we kind of learn about what humans hunger for. So
Hmm.
we, why we do the stuff we do, and then what's the ultimate motive for that. So that's kind
Yeah.
of the whole process.
Yeah, no, no, that's cool. And Catholic priests often get criticized for like, how can you be a marriage counselor? But they don't understand that. Yeah, I went to school for 8 years to
Yeah,
understand human behavior. Like,
yeah,
yeah, maybe I haven't been married before, but I know human behavior because
really
that's what
well
I studied.
educated. Yeah, really well educated. But then also, if you think about it, um, even though I'm not married, for when I was watching or listening now, like, yeah, one of the things about being a Catholic priest is we don't get married to give our life completely to the church, to the people.
Yeah,
Um, but even though I'm not married, I am with married people all the time,
yeah,
all the time, and not just like friends, but like really intimate, and like in the mean is like I'm with them from the time they get married to the like to when they need marriage counseling and everything falling apart, and then everything in between from birth until death. And
yeah,
so, hey, what it does is gives me like a kind of a unique like bird's eye perspective of marriage, to because a lot of the good things in marriage are all in the little details. But then also, kind of in the same vein of that, many of the problems and the hard things are whenever the couple focuses so much on the little bitty details that they forget the big picture. And so one of the things that by me not being married but being connected to so many people allows me to like kind of like shake them a little bit and say, hey, there's a lot more going on. Like let's step
yeah.
at the bigger picture.
Yeah, no, I totally appreciate that, and I know that you work hard, right? I know you joked around at the beginning. It's like, yeah, I only work on Sundays. So not true, so not true. I mean, I run a martial arts club, and those students drove me nuts. Like they would come to me with their problems. I'm like, I'm not a priest. I'm not a marriage counselor. I don't want any of that stuff. They're like, oh, well, you're a martial artist. I'm like, that don't matter. Don't give it to me. But and so you don't get a chance to do that. You're like,
Yeah.
no, until you get a little older, honestly,
Yeah.
Father Stephen, because the priests I had when I was a kid were, I think they were all in their 70s or something like that. And you come to them with problems, you go say a Hail Mary, you'll be good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny.
We're in Arkansas, the average age of the priest in Arkansas, there's about 80 priests across the state, all over.
Yeah.
Over the last 10 years, the average age went from 62 to 48.
Wow.
We've
That's
got
good.
we've got a
That's,
lot of young guys in our ministry. And one of
yeah.
the cool things is, well, kind of the way we connected was just these like young guys, and I'm still one of them. I'm
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
13,
Yeah.
and it like what's cool is that we are doing things that we love doing and doing things that give us joy, and God works through that. So
Right.
all the people listening, like if I could kind of like give this little preachy moment, like
Yeah.
if it's something that gives you authentic joy, do it, be generous with it, and be grateful for it. And because the world, as we all know, there's so many problems, so many problems. We need more positive, just we need more love. And archery, it's all about being willing to miss the mark and take another shot. And the same
Hmm.
is true for our spiritual life, for our relationships, for our friendships, for our work, for everything else. We have to be willing to take a shot, miss the mark, and follow up and learn and slowly get closer to the bullseye. The word for sin is actually miss the mark. In Hebrew, it's chata. It means like to miss the mark. It's an archery term.
Wow.
In the Old Testament, when they say they would sin, they would say they missed the target, and which is so perfect. It's so cool. Like, so that's kind of like my little preachy thing, little clip to
No,
on,
dude,
on
that's fantastic.
like,
That is so
don't be
good. I
afraid
did not know
to
that.
yeah, don't be afraid to miss the mark. Knock it up again and take another shot.
Yeah,
It's
that's
taught me so much about the spiritual life.
yeah. I've heard that's bang on for. I think for a lot of us. I mean, a lot of especially when again, I side on the side of traditional archery because it is so frustrating, right? It
Mhm.
is so hard. It is not the easy path, right? And then I think just it's a good reflection of your life. And it's like, no one said this was going to be easy. Who told you that was going to be easy? It's not. You have to have these challenges. You have to overcome these challenges. And it's exactly what you said, right? You miss the mark, go back, you're going to get another chance. And I like that too. I like being Catholic too, in the way that we get the second chance and we can ask for forgiveness and that. So I love all that about us. I'm still on your track though. I still want to talk about your education a little bit. So go back there. So, I want to talk about Italy because we're going to get to Italy because there's people who listen to the show and they went away and they did the 3D challenge in the 3D World Championship in Italy. And I talked to them and it was like a different world. Like I was getting nervous because I was going over there like, yeah, it's terrible. It's packed, it's crowded, it's food's not that great. You can't. I was like, and then I was over there. I was like, different experience completely. But anyway, I want to know what your experience was. So how did you end up in Rome? It was Rome, right?
Yeah. So over there, it was 4 years at the Vatican. All of our classes are in Italian. We're out across the world, another continent. We're by ourselves. So the bishop wanted somebody. He wants to send guys over there that a few things that can learn a language quickly, that
Mhm.
that can work hard, and that can be accountable for their own problems. Because it could be easy to fly under the radar, but over there we have to be willing to miss the mark and say, damn it, I missed the mark, and be honest about it. So the bishop saw those things in me, and also with my military experience, I was in Germany for a couple of years, and so I had the international experience. So he asked me if I'd go. Man, it was a cool time. I like to joke around that it was the four best worst years of my life, or the four worst best years of my life.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so amazing. There's nothing to complain about because it's Rome, Italy, for Pete's sake. Rome,
I
Italy.
it's so cool. It's
But
a living museum. It's amazing. It's
it's
amazing.
it's good people. It's like a microcosm of the world. The
Mhm.
food is great. The people are fun. But what drove me insane, I was living in the damn city, and as a farm boy from the Arkansas Delta,
Yeah.
like this, this is like when we're kids, we play in the yard in our underwear. Like that's what you do in the country. And then I go to this big city, it's loud, always crazy. And that was the hard part.
Yeah. Yeah. I can imagine you feel like you're in this massive city. I went over there, took my wife over there. We'll probably be going back again with the kids because my kids got to, I want my girls to see it and experience. There's so much culture over there. I mean, literally we got up and I went over, I went for coffee and I grabbed the coffee and then my wife joined me and then I said, let's go for a quick walk. And it was early in the morning. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning, 7:30, something like that.
Mm.
So we walk just in one direction, pick a direction. So we walked, we went over the
Tiber
Tiber,
River.
Tiber River. And so we had to go over this bridge. So we went over the bridge and then we went up this hill and then it opened up and it was like all these statues of all these people up on this big, and you could walk through the park and we're like, where are we? And like, what kind of, and then we got to this piazza or the square and there's this big obelisk in the middle of the square and you go up to it. It's just, anyone can go up to it. Anyone can touch it. Anyone can go within 2 feet of it. And it's 1,000-year-old obelisk from Egypt. Like what in the world?
I think if I could be wrong, but if you crossed the Tiber and went up the hill, and there were a bunch of these statues, that's probably Janicolo Hill, and that's
Yeah.
where the American College is. That's where I lived. It's
Yeah.
the
Really.
community of Americans outside the U.S.,
Really.
excluding military. So it's pretty cool. But it's so cool. Like you were saying, like you walk a quarter mile in any direction, and you find these restaurants that are older than the United States. You find these churches that are twice as old as the United States, three times, four times older than the United States.
Yeah.
For the Italians, what would be just like a kind of a throwaway church or a throwaway restaurant would be a Michelin restaurant in the States, or
Yeah.
a museum. It's
A museum for sure. For sure. I think it's amazing. Now you got to go at the right time of year. We did it pretty good. We did it. It gets hot there, and it does get touristy and packed, right? And like you said, for a farm boy living in the city, it's pretty hectic. Did you own a Vespa when you were there by chance?
no
You didn't.
bike.
Were you?
The bike.
Did you get to wear the really cool black? The really long black robes.
Like the robe.
What?
People joke around. It looks like they'll call it a dress in today's culture, but like it's called a cassock. It's like a ninja robe.
Yeah, cassock. Yeah, cassock. Yeah.
We're like walk around like ninjas. Yeah.
Those are so old school. They're like an old school video game of like this is what all the priests look like. Did you have with the big round brim hat? Were you able to?
One of those hats, but I got the robe and everything. I'll send you a photo of it. Maybe you can put it up or whatever. But it's really cool. I'll still wear it here.
Oh dear, I think that's cool. Yeah, it's like did you say it's like a ninja? I just skipped over that, but that's funny. It's like that's a little insight into Father Stephen's brain on where he is in his. He's still a kid. He's just like I'm enjoying life.
6-year-old stuck in a 37-year-old body.
You're getting ready for mass. You're like, man, I look like a ninja today. I'm like, and if you haven't had a chance to go, Father Stephen is on Instagram. Go check him out. Some of the stuff he does is great. I mentioned at the very beginning of the podcast today, the live stream, but he's a weightlifter. Apparently now he's a ninja warrior. I did not know that. He not just the clothes, but go back in this video. He's talking about, and I skipped over that too. You were on the ninja warrior course, right?
Twice, actually. Yeah, I didn't win $1 million. That would have been sweet. If I won $1 million, I would have opened my own bow shop. But go twice.
I would have retired. So anyway, and he's a Catholic priest living in Little Rock, Arkansas. He's got his church there, and the parish is there in Little Rock. Hunter, avid hunter, and a podcaster. Did you write a book yet?
Man, no.
He's going to write a book. He's writing a book soon. Okay, you heard it here.
That'd be kind of fun.
What's that?
I thought about doing one. It'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, with your experience, Germany, you were in the military, you went over to Rome, you studied there. Yeah, you could write a book. It'd be
find someone to type it for me, and I'll tell them what to say, and then my attention span is like 7 seconds.
You do. So you could. What's he got? Yeah, it makes me think of the movie Scarlet and the Black. I don't think I've seen that, Hope, but must be we were talking about your vestments, which was really cool too. By the way, so if you go to Rome is like the shopping center for priests. It's where they go. Like you go down. So like, as you're going to the Vatican City, if anyone's going to Rome or whatever, or you can watch it on YouTube, as you're going towards Vatican City, there's all these little shops, and in these shops you can buy, first of all, you could, my wife was struck. We bought it. We bought this calendar. It was hot priests. It's all the hot priests. It's all the hot priests. It's like, so we bought that calendar. We gave it to our girls. So anyway, so we got that, but then there's these beautiful like Gucci vestments, and it's amazing. It's kind of like must be fun for you guys to go there.
Jeez,
Get
yeah.
this.
Well, not fun for me because the pay is absolutely terrible. I don't know how some priests get that stuff, but some of it is high dollar things. But I'm
Yeah.
more like the Walmart equivalent of those things.
Well, you're Arkansas. You got to be that. You're only at Walmart because you're shopping local.
I'm loyal and faithful. That's what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, does anyone want to? We're gonna pause for a break here. I'm gonna run a couple commercials. Hey, we got to pay bills here around here, so I'm gonna get my guys out here. But while we're doing that, could you please, everyone that's in the comments, can you please think of some questions for Father Stephen? And when we get back, I'll ask him the question. If not, we'll let them have a great day. But here, I'm going to run a few of the promos from my sponsors who I love to death. Thank you very much, everyone who's sponsoring the channel. It's amazing. Here we go. Check out CD Archery, performance ILF risers for hunters to world champions. CDArchery.com. Made right here in the United States of America.
What tab are you shooting? Ghost tab, obviously.
Okay, you got to get a Yoast tab, by the way. That's the next thing I got to get you in.
Yeah,
Yoast tabs they're fantastic. Let me give a couple more here. Hey, don't forget to check out our sponsor, thepusharchery.com. So they're a new sponsor, and they've got a ton of great learning videos over there. Good swag too. So pick up something from those guys. Amazing company, amazing people that run that company. So,
Trad coaching? I gotta
pardon
check
me?
those guys out. Trad archery coaching. I gotta check them guys out.
Oh my gosh, they have such great stuff. Like, I mean, they have a lot of the good guys, a lot of good guys that are they have Shot IQ, which is Joel
Bill
and
Turner.
his Joel, Joel Turner, right? So he has it for trad archery, right? So they have his course on there, and I knew you knew that. You probably know that guy because Brody, his son, is the world champion. And then they have John Demmer's bear bow course too, which helps out. So if you're shooting a bear bow, it's pretty cool. Okay. Here we go. So thank you, Lisa. So Lisa's got our first question for the Padre. Stephen, curious, which is the most beautiful place in the U.S. to shoot? Do you know? Got any ideas?
I've got just the two inputs that I have. So I'm from Arkansas. I think Arkansas is one of the best kept secrets in the United States. And as much as I love Arkansas, I would also include northern Louisiana and Missouri and Iowa, kind of these flyover states that most people don't care about. That would include East Oklahoma, East Kansas, Western Tennessee, Western Kentucky. It's just people think that we're just a bunch of hillbillies in these places, but it's absolutely beautiful. So that's one place. The other place would be probably so far Colorado. I mean, because it's Colorado, it's beautiful. Yeah. I'm going to Idaho this October, so we'll see how Colorado stands up after that. I don't know. What about for you?
I think so. Here's the deal. I'm not worried about Idaho beating Colorado. just FYI. I don't know.
I'll stick with Colorado.
I will tell you, I'd never been to Arkansas before because I'd never had a need to, right? And it wasn't a flyover state, and I don't feel like I put people into boxes, whether you're in the middle of the country, you're on the left side or the right side, you're up or down. You know, if we're all good people, we're all good people, man. I don't care who you are or where you live. As long as you're nice to your mom and dad, that's all I care about. And then the other thing is, so I got this job working for Windstream. And so they're headquartered in Arkansas. So I had to drive. I could have flew, but I thought I'd drive. It's like 6-hour drive. So I'm driving there. I'm like, what in the, like, you're not in Kansas anymore. It is gorgeous. Yeah. It is drop dead gorgeous. It is beautiful place. And if you're a hunter or if you're a hiker, man, you can sweat your butt off up and down them hills, and it's just beautiful. It is just beautiful.
We got state parks all over the place. I just got into mountain biking like within the last couple of weeks, and it's one of my new addictions. It's so fun. But just Arkansas, great state.
It is a great state. I love Arkansas, so we'll give a huge shout out to that. And I have employees that work for me that are in Arkansas too. So hopefully I'll get down there again pretty soon. Then Colorado, just amazing. I've been to. There's your guy. And then there's, it's beautiful there. Pacific Northwest is great. Lisa, who asked the question, is actually in the Pacific Northwest. Do you call that up there Pacific Northwest, Lisa? I don't know. The Vancouver area in Canada. So she's a Canadian like I am. Lots of beautiful places there to shoot. And so
Canada is on one of my short lists of places I really want to go. I want to go for a bear hunt up there. That's like a dream of mine.
Is another dream of yours to get bit by black flies and mosquitoes nonstop? Because that's what's going to happen.
Arkansas Delta.
That's true too. Yeah, that's true too. That's true. Hey, the other thing too that I wanted to mention is that when you said, I spent some time in Louisiana, I was like, okay. You say your whole accent changes when you say I spent some time in Louisiana. I spent some time in Louisiana.
It was honestly, I was at a Benedictine monastery. So when you watch the movies and you see all the monks and their like the hoods and everything, it was those guys. They have 1,200 acres in southern Louisiana, pine forest. Those were 4 of the absolute best years of my life. I loved it down there. It was beautiful weather year round, hard work, quiet, country, Jesus, outdoors. I was happy.
You had all the elements, man. That was awesome.
Man,
good food too. Good food too, right?
Went to Rome.
Oh, then you went to Rome. You went from living with. Yeah, you went from living with alligators to, all the way out to popes who have alligator shoes. They do like that. I don't know what the popes do, but I know some of the bishops. I think they make alligator shoes out there, leather shoes.
I got to meet the Pope.
Hey,
yeah, when I was there, I got to meet Pope Francis.
I saw the picture. That was pretty amazing. That's pretty. Who's your top 3 popes? Go.
Oh man, Pope Benedict. Pope Francis, because he's here now, and John Paul II, probably the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah, all good ones.
Although John the 23rd, most people may not know him. Pope John the 23rd, he lived about maybe 60 years ago. He was a country boy from North Italy, and he was a fat guy too, just a good old country boy. Yeah. But he had this prayer. It's a quote of his that he would pray every night. He would say, he would basically say, I guess the English translation would be basically like, good night, Jesus. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. It's your church. You take care of it.
You're on watch. It's your turn.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So when you're, let me ask you this, since we were talking about Italy, what's your favorite food there when you're in Italy, when you're in Rome?
It comes down to 2 pastas. I would say either carbonara, which is basically like the bacon, the pancetta and egg, a very creamy one. Or the other one is probably the most simple pasta ever, aglio e olio, which is garlic and oil. Garlic, oil, crushed red pepper.
That's nice. Yeah, it's so, because the pasta is so good.
Oh, Jesus, man, it's good.
Yeah. I can't say that in front of me.
Every day, sweet Lord, it was so good.
So I love cacio e pepe. Like,
gosh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, my wife has got it down. So we get yeah, I'm telling you, you come here, come visit. We'll cook you some.
I'm gonna come. We'll cook and shoot and just have fun.
Yeah. Yeah, you're more than welcome. I got room all look. I'm looking at the spot you can come and hang out for a bit. You can come during the week too. You don't have to give up your. Yeah, you're always invited. Always. All right. Any other questions in the comments? Nothing. Going once, going twice, going three times. Hey, thanks everyone for sticking around and hanging out with us today. We didn't talk a lot of archery, but you know what? It's not always about archery. It's about community. I think traditional archery is about community. So this is my community. These are my people. I love all you guys. And thanks for spending some time. And Father Stephen, thank you so much for taking your time out of your day. I know you're busy and hanging out.
Thanks a lot for the invite. Just, I guess a final checkup would just be over this last year and a half, like something I was very hesitant about doing. Like I've gone all in, and it's changed all areas of my life. And so for anyone listening, just like archery is more than just the it's more than the string and the arrow. It's the whole life thing. So, keep it up and keep doing what you're doing, and everyone else keep spreading the good word.
Yeah, thanks very much. I all that stuff resonates a lot with me, Padre. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you a lot. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll talk to you again soon. I'll get some more live stuff going. So if you have any recommendations, please send them my way. All right. Take care, guys. Thank you very much.
Thanks.